Hey, everybody, good evening. My name is Shanita, and welcome to my Raw and Real series. Today is Wednesday. It is the second day of spring. Spring 2024 is here, and Ella wants to say hi. Say hi, everybody. She's a little fidgety tonight. Me and her are hanging tough, but I wanted everybody to see her and for her to say hello to everybody before I put her down. There she is. Look at her. She took some cute Easter pictures yesterday, and I can't wait to show everybody. So, yeah. All right. All right, now let's say bye, everybody. Bye. Say bye bye. Mama loves you. Okay. There you go. All right. And talk to everyone tonight. Like I said just a moment ago, spring is here. Everything is starting to bud, and there are beautiful colors starting to emerge everywhere. Leaves are coming back, and that good stuff. So I just want to talk with us tonight in a really lighthearted but serious way because there are some um, things on my heart that I want to look into and have a grown up conversation. Subject matter may be a little bit more serious, but it is necessary information. And I'm so excited to information in some form to YouTube or to you in your life. So, as always, let's go ahead and get started. Let's ground ourselves so that we can better focus and be on one accord. And so, tonight, the instrument that I am going to use, they're called tincture bells, and these bells, they look like this, and they are typically used in ceremony or at the end, but they are really helpful and useful for um, bringing your attention into better alignment and into better focus. And they're also great for clearing and dispersing any type of unwanted or negative energies. So I have these on my person with me at all times because they're just wonderful. They're quick, easy, and they're very light to carry around. So what we typically do is seated or standing, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Make sure your feet are to the ground. If you have nothing on your feet, that's even better. But if you do, that's not a problem. Just make sure your feet are flat on the ground. And I'm going to ring the tinctures 3 times. And for each ring, please allow yourself to take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. All right, now let us begin. All right, everyone. I hope that brings you better clarity around you. Or in several posts now, or on my social media page, and I did a video last week about the challenges that I have been facing personally in my own life. And I titled this Under Pressure because I feel like myself personally is feeling like I'm under pressure. I've really been expressing similar sentiments. The circumstances may be different, but the feelings behind what they're dealing with are somewhat similar. So with that, I know that we are coming into spring, or actually, we're actually in spring. And I want to ask you guys this. Now, for those of you that are here watching this, and for those of you that will watch this on replay, can you answer this question? Now, spring brings with it a lot of joy, right? Beautiful colors, people are more out and about. things of that nature. But can you believe what is one thing you probably would not guess that also comes with spring? I'm just going to give you a couple seconds. Okay. Suicidality. More people have a spike in suicidal thoughts, behaviors during the initial warm months of the year. So we're talking April and May. But April seems to be where the biggest spike occurs. Now, this is really counterintuitive to what we all have thought. Some of us have even heard that the cold months, the winter months, because there's fewer hours of sunlight, that's when people struggle most with depression, anxiety. You do the research, and I have put some article links in the description box for you. Now, it's just a good start. This isn't a deep dive into it, but this is why I put it there so it can back up a lot of what I was sharing with you tonight. So when you think about it, the reason why this is important for us to talk about and discuss tonight is because now everyone is coming out of their self-imposed hibernations. Now we are being asked or poked and prodded to get out and socialize and to interact with people and to have fun, to do great things and just experience. But for empaths or highly sensitive people, what is it? We love being less social. We love being out of coming at us from this direction, that direction. Life is just a bit more safer and simpler when we are in our own habitat. Now, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to share tonight is because when I retired from being a mental health therapist and substance use counselor, the biggest thing that we were always taught and we always had to look out for was there were 2 months out of the year where and for persons that completed a suicide. And those 2 months, you guessed it, one is in the colder months, like I said earlier. But April and October are historically the 2 months we see a huge increase. Those 2 months, April, yes, time to figure out, why is this true? I mean, common sense would tell you that the winter months, hibernation, the going within, cold, dark, less sunlight, that makes sense, right? And while all of that is true, here are some surprising reasons why, as empaths and highly sensitive people, big-hearted people, we really must be aware that this time of year, we may struggle more than we think. Let's start with this. One of the things that as empaths and highly sensitive people, this big-hearted nation that we all are trying to be in a community with, we love connection. But we love meaningful and substantive connection. And that connection comes with being around people whom we feel are safe, that know us, that care for us, and that really want to see us thrive, right? So, for example, when we are around a big group of people, our spidey senses are working overtime. When it's working overtime, that's bringing a lot of pressure on us, right? And then you also have to figure out who wants to deal with all the increased anxiety that comes with that. And if you are a highly sensitive person, empath, big person that has not learned how to properly manage those feelings, those emotions, then it can become crippling. Yes, and overwhelming. And so, what do you do? And you're dealing with a less connection with the outside world. And while on one hand, that can be okay, making an active choice to not go out and to not associate with other people, When you do it too much, that's when it can become problematic for most people. Some people live their best lives being a hermit. I'm not talking about you if that's you. I'm not talking about anybody that enjoys being alone 20 crippling social anxiety. It's okay, Nala. The crippling anxiety that comes with being overwhelmed by all of the stressors being in a group. If that triggers you, then I want you to be aware that this time of year, you may find that you may struggle a little bit because everyone's trying to come out of their little corner, their little cave. And now they're saying, hey, let's meet up for this. Let's go out and do that. Or you want to go hang out here. Now, also, while social interactions can become problematic for most people, we also have to worry about that in those interactions, there is this increased opportunity for rejection. Now, if you are someone that has a very healthy self esteem, feelings of self worth, this may not land for you. But if you are someone that is still trying to actively find themselves, to figure out just how wonderful and amazing that you are, and that hasn't really been defined for you, rejection may seem a little bit harder to deal with. So I want to make sure that when you are dealing with these types of things, that you can go through. Now, if you don't have anyone that you feel like that's in your life that's safe and supportive, please feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to coach you through these things because that's what I do every day with big hearted people. I teach you how to see your gifts, how to use that big heart of yours to your advantage, and how not to allow those circumstances and situations to overtake you. Now, here's one surprising fact that I learned in my research for tonight's broadcast. And that is one of the significant reasons they are finding in their research that causes this huge spike in suicidal feelings and thoughts and self-injurious behavior. Because I have these here. Since I've been living here in South Carolina, my allergy summer, I am absolutely miserable. I take medications for that help me. Some of them make me feel drowsy, sometimes pressure, so on and so forth. And what I learned in my research, why because many of the medications or treatment regimens that people utilize can increase feelings of depression or anxiety. Now, I'm going to tell you, as a result of researching this, and just for the record, it was just a very basic research because my heart really did want to know why, during what seems to be this very happy and colorful and vibrant time of year, why would people struggle so much to the degree that they would want to hurt themselves? And what seems to be pretty consistent with adults and children is the lack of social connection, the fear of rejection. Hearted people, we have to do but I want to encourage you and give you some ways in which you can not only protect that big beautiful heart of yours, but you can also get your needs met. I mentioned earlier that the clients that I work with, there was one consistent factor that they expressed, but just in their own unique way. They shared with me that they felt like they did not want to be a burden to anybody else in their lives. And I used to say the same thing. Now, I am great at being there for everyone else. It makes me happy to be of support, to be of service to other people. But I had to learn just how to allow other people to be of service and support to me. And that meant that I needed to make sure that I had safe and supportive people around me. I didn't want to be the strongest person in my group of friends, Because let me tell you, that is isolating. And that does cause you to not be as connected. Because if you think about it, and if you were to really be honest with yourself, is it because you don't trust them as much? Meaning you don't trust them enough to handle all the parts of you, those vulnerable, not so prim and proper or properly packaged parts of you, that there is a facade that you want to maintain, that you have it all together and you really don't need anybody. You're just struggling a little bit. Now, if I'm putting something out on you that's not true, I understand. But I just want to be the first person to say that I just described how I used to believe, how I used to operate, and why for the longest time I didn't know why I felt so isolated and why I felt like I had no one to talk to. So one day I was in such a bad way that I said, you know what, I'm going to reach out to this friend. Because with this particular issue I was dealing with at that time, I felt like they were better equipped to help me. And when I did reach out to this individual, not only did I not get the support that I really wanted, but I was met with, I can't help you. You're the one that's always helping me. I can't deal with this. I got to go. Hang up the phone. And so now I had rejection to deal with, on top of the original thing that made me want to reach out to this individual to begin with. And it was very hurtful. It was very isolating, and it just made me want to go further into my self-imposed hell. Let's just be honest. And so that's why it's so important for everyone, especially as big-hearted people, to not feel as if I can't reach out to anyone because I don't want to be a burden. Let me tell you, to the right person or persons, you will never be a burden. If you are in my circle of influence, in my circle of friends, let me tell you, if you came to me and asked me for a shoulder or for an ear, there is no way I would feel as if you are burdening me. Because we have already established healthy rules and healthy boundaries and healthy expectations of one another. And because I love you and I'm a loving and compassionate being, it brings me joy to be able to say, let me be here for you. I am here for you, my friend. How can I be of service to you? And so, as big hearted people, we have got to give ourselves the permission to allow people in our lives that are safe and that are supportive, especially if you are an individual that loves to be that for someone else. What I tell and share with my clients is, I know that you love helping other people. I love that about you. When we come in for our coaching sessions, I never want to tell you, don't be who you are. Don't be who you are created to be. Don't stop doing that. But I share with you that by taking care of that big, beautiful heart of yours, it further empowers you to go out there and be the person that you are created to be, who you desire to be. If you are making hundreds of people smile and empowering yourself, imagine what you can do in this world when you start to take better care of yourself and you get the help that you need. So that's why I say being the strongest person of your circle of friends, ooh, that can be a dangerous place for you. And if you are not in a position right now in this moment to reach out to one safe or supportive person in your personal life, then please don't be shy to ask for help outside of that circle. That's what people like me are created for. That's what people like counselors, social workers, psychologists, that's what we are created for. And there is no shame in making sure that you are equipped to be the highest and truest version of yourself. But it always surprised me why we would say April and October are the two biggest months that make people struggle emotionally. Again, you would think there's so much beauty around. Everything is becoming alive. But let me tell you, social interactions are really hard for people. And now that we are surviving and have come through these hard winter months, it's time for people to want to get out and about. Rejection. Some people are going to feel it harder than others. And I also want to implore and share with you that check on your friends, especially those people that seem okay, that seem strong. A lot of people suffer in silence and they shouldn't have to. And another thing, if you are dealing with someone or you have a loved one that does suffer with depression or anxiety to the point where they isolate themselves, sometimes they can't reach out to you. Sometimes their illness or their mental thoughts do not provide opportunity for them to say, I'm struggling, I need to reach out. And that's why it's so important that we, as the community members that have the extra energy, to reach out to them, to check on them. Because sometimes people don't have the capacity to say, I'm struggling. And that's why that disease is so cunning and so hard. But as big hearted people, we have to be able to say, listen, I got to take care of myself. I don't want to be disconnected from good energy. I don't want to be disconnected from people that can pour into my life. I have to be able to say, I can submit myself to seeking help for myself. And there are a lot of things that are situational with people. For example, everything that's been going on in my life right now, very much situational. But it's hard nonetheless. And I'm taking active steps to protect myself because I don't care who you are, what you do for a living, life will come at you. And life will present opportunity for you to rise to the occasion and grow through things, or you may not take that opportunity and it can stifle your ability to live. And I just want to make sure that as big hearted people, we know to be mindful first of ourselves, to monitor our hearts and to monitor our thinking, to do wellness checks for ourselves, to make sure that we are in right standing with our higher selves and who we are. And if for whatever reason we are not, please do not be afraid to ask for help. That is your strength in action on display to be able to say, I need some help right now. Can you provide assistance? Because I have been doing that and I love it. I'm just going to tell you. I told you a moment ago, I've come from a space where I didn't want to ask for help because I didn't want to seem weak. And when I got through suffering because of those beliefs, because we all know a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And once I changed the way I thought, which led to changes in my belief, which led to changes in my actions and how I feel, life began to open up so much more for me. So remember, ask for help. And you don't wait until you need something huge. Ask for help for the small things. So that when you truly need someone from an emotional standpoint, when you need that type of support, it's almost second nature. I know a lot of empaths and I know a lot of highly sensitive people that have said too many times and too often, I don't want to be a burden to anyone. And please hear me. Please know that to the right people, those that truly love you, you are never a burden. Ever. And we're coming up on a season where social interaction is key. It's all around us. People are expecting it, people want it, and you may even feel forced to have to participate. I feel that way a lot of the times, especially as a business owner, because what do they always tell you? You got to get out and network. You got to get out and network. Well, I just want to go home and play with my instruments and lock myself in the room. But there's a healthy compromise. I know I must do that, right? So, because I know that's my challenge, I ask for help. I ask for a fellow friend. Hey, do you mind going to this thing with me? You can be my support buddy because they know me well enough to know when I've had enough, when I'm physically exhausted because I have adulted for too long. And I can say, okay, I'm really exhausted. I've put out a lot of energy. It's time. Can we go now? But I also want you to be aware that there are a lot of people that may struggle and they may be in your circle of influence. They may be around you. They could be your family members. They could be friends. They could be complete strangers, your coworkers, church members, anyone. But please, please make sure that you are taking good care of yourself. Ask for help. Reach out for help. If you don't have anyone in your life, please call me. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Email me, Shanita at iamfuturefocus.com. You don't have to be alone. And if you are someone that suffers with allergies or you have be mindful of the medication and these elements, open and honest dialogue with your medical provider, that you're being honest with your symptoms. Now, one thing that I have recently rediscovered offering me a world of help is earthing. This significant discovery about being grounded and being connected, and just the amazing health benefits that happen because of it. So I want you all to look at the Earthing, the movie documentary. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. You can get this book and you can read it. And you can also see if this is something that works well for you. Being connected to people that love you, where you don't have to question whether they love you or not. That's also another free, amazing resource. That love you. That's a wonderful thing. Make sure you're getting 30 minutes a day sunlight if it doesn't counteract you, because you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, it doesn't compromise you in any way. Here's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this. I also want you to be mindful of the energies around you, meaning, do you have any one or thing in or stress at saying, okay, I know they mean well. I know that they don't want to hurt me. They didn't mean, but they never know that they're hurting you. And if they do know and they continue to do it, is that someone you really want around you and other people? We got to get raw and real with this. There's too many things out here. Life is stressful enough. But to be the emotional receptacle for other people's misery, I hope you're still not playing this game in 2024. Like, what will it take for you to say, I am no longer? What do you need that will help you to be more empowering to let go of all support do you need around you? And I want you to challenge yourself to be able to get that support, to be just as diligent and determined to get that, to have that, and for it to be just as natural to you to have that as it has been to have all that dysfunctional energy around you. I don't want to hear in my sessions anymore that people refuse to ask for help, to reach out for help because they don't want to be a burden. Especially people with the most beautiful hearts, the people that are always showing up for other people, the people that are always giving 150%. If there is any group of beings on this planet that I wish never have to be in that situation again, it's party people. You deserve so much joy. You don't have to continue to deal with that. You don't. But awareness will help you in your transformational goals. And I say this, nor do you have to do this alone. Even if you have to start out or seeing a medical provider, whatever it is, there is shame. That is your strength on display. That is you activating and empowering yourself and your gifts. Please feel free to do that. And then remember, there are other people around you, like when you go on your jobs, when you're in your social groups, if you're in the grocery store, because let me tell you, every time I go out in public, somebody comes up to me and tells me their private personal business. So you never know, it may happen to you, and chances are it does because you're a big hearted person and you just naturally carry good energy. And people are attracted to that. And they will be even more attracted to that because they are not in the best of mental health or emotional health. I would gravitate to somebody that has positive energy coming from them. In October are historically those 2 months of each year where self-harm, those 2 months, April, gonna be a lot of people that are gonna need a lot of grace. But that doesn't mean you have to take inappropriate behavior from anyone. And if you're someone that's struggling, it's okay to reach out for help. Again, that is strength on display. But please, my big hearted nation people, do not suffer alone or suffer in silence. Whatever challenges, whatever roadblocks, whatever obstacles that you are facing right now, you don't have to do it alone. So I just want to encourage you all to make sure that you're putting yourself and your needs in the top two on your to do list every day. That's not being selfish, it's being self full. Because as big hearted people, how are you going to be able to help somebody else if you are not whole? And you may feel fragmented, you may feel not as happy or healthy as far as emotional well being, and you still going out there and crushing it. But just imagine when you take better than what you're going to do with other people. Like I said earlier, as your coach, I never want to take that part away from you. I'll never, ever, ever say, you got to stop being of service. No, 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 no. Our discussion is how can we take your service game to the next level? That's how we do that at Future Focus. Because if you're like me, your ability to be of service is everything. If you're in a season like I am where it just seems like, what? You mean to tell me we got to deal with this too? Oh my goodness. Then make sure you have everything you need at your disposal to support you. Safe people, wonderful grounding techniques, connecting with safe and supportive people, reaching out for help if you need it, hiring a coach, seeing a mental health therapist, a medical provider, whatever it is. It's a wonderful thing. That's why people like us exist. But just make sure that you're not doing this alone. And this is just a season, and this season will turn into another one. But you can do it with a lot of people around you that are safe and supportive and that really care about you. So I just wanted to come tonight and share this. I know this was kind of a real serious topic today, but I wanted to make sure that I touched base with to my big-hearted friends here on YouTube, and just for you to make sure you're looking out for your friends, looking out for your family members and co-workers and whatnot. But make sure you're taking good care of yourself. Please. You are so precious. You are so wonderful. And you mean so much to so many people. And I just know that none of the people in your life that really love and care about you want to deal with, I never knew, I didn't understand, I wish it come to me. Nobody wants to have those kind of conversations, ever. So I just want to tell you, I love you all. Nala says hello and good night. And remember, reach out to me in the comments. Email me, Shanita at iamfuturefocus.com. If you need some help and support, I am here for you. We'll get through this together. And guess what? I love you. I love you for real. And we're going to get through this. This has been the raw and real. Don't suffer alone. Don't suffer in silence. You're too wonderful for that. And it's totally not necessary. There are some lessons, some gems, some jewels that you can use or learn from their lives. It's how we handle it, how we rise to that, that really speaks to who we are, who we want to be. Words are. So who are you when you're under pressure? I hope you're someone that reaches out and takes care of themselves, because you know deep down that you really are an amazing big-hearted, beautiful person. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing, how I can best support you and be of service to you. Nala and I love you, and we always will. I hope you guys take care and have a good night. Bye.